Arne Slot, another secret, has been officially confirmed as coach of Liverpool, Gabby. He won't be Jurgen Klopp's replacement, though. You put that very nicely on the quickies. He will be his successor.
Exactly.
Oh,
and this
that's
is just
beautiful.
to temper the situation. I think it's interesting. And this is another situation where they've come back and they have a very strong sporting director set up, right? Michael Edwards has returned. Julian Ward's returned. Well. And obviously they've brought in Richard Hughes as technical director. So this is something where you're going to have to work with them. You're going to have to find the right balance. I would hope Arne Slot can do that. But this is going to be pretty critical. And more coaches have to get used to working in this way. Sticking with Liverpool, Mohamed Salah has 1 year left on his contract. And some see him dropping hints that he wants to stay beyond that.
He wrote this lovely message on social media when he said, sorry, we could not have the end of the season that we wanted or something like that. But next season, we're going to fight again to go and win every trophy, every this, every that.
Is that bad news, actually? Because it means you can't sell him to Saudi for $100 million?
Well, I don't know. No, things can still change. That doesn't guarantee you 100% that he will be there next season.
I think if he wants to stay, he's going to stay and walk as a free agent.
I think he will stay if Arne Slot wants him to stay.
Yeah.
That's all.
Manchester City play Manchester United in the FA Cup final on Saturday. Jules, I read a headline suggesting it was something like this: Erik ten Hag boosted by the return of Mason Mount, Anthony Martial, and Victor Lindelof to full training. Apparently they've been training this week.
Yeah.
That moves the needle tremendously, right?
Massively, yeah. What a great boost. I would love boosts like that every day. You know, what a great news.
Sorry, why is Martial even bothering?
I don't know. Why
He's
Lindelof? What's going on with
Lindelof and Mount presumably are going to be at the club next year, I'm assuming.
Yeah.
Martial's not going to go do that voodoo hex and convince Dan Ashworth to give him a new deal, right?
That's very true. It doesn't change anything. Doesn't mean anything. I don't think either of them will start that final. Okay, maybe that means on the bench you don't have just kids. You have at least a bit of senior players. But it's not, unfortunately, much of a difference, I think, for Ten Hag and Manchester United. Gareth Southgate named his 33-man provisional squad for the Euros, and there was no room for Jordan Henderson. Such a shame. And Marcus Rashford, Gab, with which one of the two players missing do you understand the most?
Well, Jordan Henderson is the one that surprised me more.
Really?
I think this is my... Well, first of all, they kind of both surprise me because I take a step back, and if I'm Gareth Southgate... All right, you guys both had crappy seasons. Yeah. One is Manchester United's always a zoo, especially this year. Poor Jordan, Saudi, come back, Ajax doesn't work. I want to see you up close. Because Marcus...
You went to see him in Amsterdam.
He followed them in Amsterdam.
He followed them closely.
You can bring 33 guys. Some people brought 40 guys, right? Instead of bringing... I mean, some of these youngsters he brought, I'm pretty sure, are not going to be going to the Euros. I don't think it would have killed him to bring Jordan Henderson. I'm surprised.
But what for? I don't understand.
I'm not saying he should have done it. I'm saying since we know Gareth Southgate's mentality, picking Harry Maguire in perpetuity when he's not playing for his club, for example, I'm surprised he didn't bring Henderson. That's all I'm saying. Also because in Henderson's case specifically, that's a position where I think England have issues. Once you get past Declan Rice and Jude Bellingham in central midfield, you get into a world of Conor Gallagher's and
Kobbie
Mainoo, who's 18 years old, right?
Yeah.
So that I find surprising. Rashford, again, I would have thought at least bring him to the camp, take a look at him, see if you can figure out how the guy goes from 17 goals, league goals a year ago to 8 this year. But at least in Rashford's position, you've got more alternatives. But
I just think they are better players than them too. So why would you take them? You certainly don't
need.
You're not
taking them to Euros. You're taking them to training camp.
But you don't need to see them at training. You've seen them train for the last 5 years or so. What would you want them to?
So you can assess their condition now.
I don't think it's a problem with condition. It's just they haven't been good enough, and they're not good enough now to make this squad. There's better players. The only one thing is experience, maybe. But there's other players who have a lot of experience
in central midfield.
I know your love for experience in general.
No, but let's go back to specifically Henderson on the central midfield piece, right?
But Henderson should never be playing in the Euros.
I don't have the list of players in front of me, so I'm going to go from memory, right?
Yeah.
But, okay, Declan Rice and Jude Bellingham, untouchable, right?
Yeah.
You know that because he's Mr. Conservative, he will likely play 3 central midfielders. But even if he doesn't, you need at least 4 central midfielders, right? Who can do that. And that's assuming you play Bellingham further back, which I don't know that he will since he hasn't played there all season for Real Madrid. you're talking about 18-year Colby Maino. He's got Wharton. He's got Conor Gallagher.
Yeah.
I mean, Wharton's also a kid, right?
Yeah, Wharton is not going to go.
Okay, Wharton's not going to go. So Wharton's just there for
so those four
spits
are there.
and giggles, right?
Gallagher, Mainu, Bellingham, and Rice.
I think that's a big ask of Colby Mainu. And I know your opinion on Conor Gallagher, who, by the way,
Conor Gallagher for 10 minutes at the end of a game, I've got no problem.
Most of the season, Conor Gallagher played as a 10, yeah?
Yeah.
Not in that role, as a Jude Bellingham. So that's why I'm a bit surprised that Henderson's not there.
Well, yeah. But
if it all makes sense to you, that's fine.
He's just not good enough. Why would he take a player that is not good enough for the Euros level? He's not good enough even for this team. So
because it's international football.
Yeah.
Right? You take the guys that you have. Some of them aren't going to be good enough because you can't simply go and buy players from other countries or naturalize them unless you're Qatar in the 1990s, right?
I'm not the biggest fan of Southgate, but to be fair, on his squads, I kind of agree with him.
I'm just surprised he didn't take another look at him, but whatever.